Facilitated by Harriet Orleans, and today she will teach us how to make jollof rice. Hi, Harriet.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
So, before we begin, we will do a little bit of icebreakers. So, today's icebreaker is I will provide you with a color, and you have to tell me a name of the same vegetable or a fruit that starts with the same color. So, you can either put it in the chat or you can just say it. So, the color is green.
Green, we're talking about vegetables or fruit?
It's your wish.
Okay, it's my wish. Okay, so when we're talking about vegetables, I'll pick green. I'll pick green sweet pepper. Green pepper.
Yeah, that's good. Green pepper. Do we
Okay.
have something from the chat? I'll move ahead. The next color is green.
Another color, green?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll pick a fruit for it. So it'll be
Yeah.
green apples.
green apples. And what about red?
Red, I'm looking for red pepper or red apples. I'm on fruit and apples.
Yeah, fruits and apples. I mean, it's good fruits and vegetables, so yeah.
Okay.
So before we start preparing a dish, I have a few questions for you. So can you tell us how long have you been making this dish, jollof rice?
Okay, I would say that I started making this jollof rice on my own when I was in the high school. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell us where this dish is originated from?
When I was young, or those days, I knew that, I heard that jollof rice, I thought originated from Ghana, but I learned that it's from Gambia. But I have been reading from the internet and found out it's originated from, the original was Senegal. Senegal, Gambia, they are all West African countries. And so I would say that I've taken that it's both Gambia and some people are saying Senegal. And so that's where it originated from. But all those countries, Nigerians do cook jollof rice, Ghanaians, we do a lot. But the Nigerians and the Ghanaians, we always compete ourselves that ours is the best. But those jollof rice, you see this more cooked on the west coast of Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good answer. So well, we cannot wait to see how you make this dish and
Sure.
to taste, and we cannot wait to taste your infamous jollof rice. So can you tell us, Harriet, what do we need to make the dish?
Okay. Before one makes the jollof rice, there is the way called ingredients. So the ingredients in making the jollof rice, you have to have the oil, which I have just put a little bit oil to show. This is oil. You need oil, you need onion, and you need tomatoes. Okay, I started with this because this is the base, but you can also add something like smoked paprika. Some people do put smoked paprika in it. The smoked paprika gives it a very radiant color. This is what I see. It makes it even more red, especially the red paprika one is the one that we use. You smoke it, take off the skin, makes it easy for the skin to come off, and then you can add it to it. And so when you do that, to start with, you get the oil, you will chop the onion, so it can be a medium sized onion, diced into small pieces. And then you get the oil to heat, not overheated, otherwise it will burn right away. So you put dice the onion, put in the oil, and then when it's golden brown, you will blend the tomatoes. And I'll go back. With the tomatoes, I've shown fresh tomatoes. It would be nice to use the Roma tomatoes. I like it because it's very flavorful, very good. You can have that, but the amount, because I'm going to teach you, if you are following me, to learn how to make it. You will need 1 medium-sized chopped or diced onion, and then the oil, maybe about 4 to 5 tablespoons of the oil. And then you will have the tomatoes. The Roma tomatoes I'm talking about, you can have about 6 to 8 fresh tomatoes, should be ripe tomatoes. And then you can add the paprika. It's an option in terms of the paprika, the smoked paprika if you have. You blend them, that to be a puree, and then you put it into the oil that has the onion into it, which is a golden brown. You put those tomatoes, the pureed tomatoes, into it. Okay. Now, or you can also use this can of tomatoes I've shown you here. You can have 1 can. You just have to put it in a blender, blend it to be smooth, and then that will be your tomatoes instead of fresh tomatoes. Now, as you see, whilst you're doing that, you put it to simmer. Now, whilst it's simmering, give it about 15 minutes to simmer on a medium heat. Whilst it's going on simmering, you can add some flavorful aroma sort of ingredients, and that will be thyme is one of them. You can put in fresh thyme whilst you're cooking it. When it's cooked, the sauce or the stew cooks. I normally use the word stew. Some people can say sauce. So when it's done, you can take the fresh thyme, those sticks out of it. And then, or you can put already the dried one too. The dry one, you can have about a teaspoon into it. Then you will need something called a bouillon, or it can be a salt to put it into the sauce to your own taste. There are so many ways of putting, to make the dish tasty. There is some spice some company had made called season, we call it, I've written it so that I can. It's called seasoning powder for stew jollof. It is nice, but there's a little bit of salt in it, so you have to be careful. If you get it, you can get it for some of these Ghanaian grocery stores. The next thing you would need is about 4 cups of long grain rice. But we have so many types of rice. The long grain rice, we have one called jasmine scented rice. We also have Thai scented rice. We have some, I think I've seen one they've written, what do you call it, oxhead, but I don't want to. The only thing is that long grain rice, it can be jasmine or Thai rice, or any, even you can use what you call Powerball rice to make the jollof rice. That would be your rice. And then you would need about 1 to 2 cups of water, or it can be chicken or beef stock. That is very important. You can put, because why do I do this? Because it makes the food tasty. I spoke about the smoked paprika, which is an option, and then pepper. I normally don't put pepper into my jollof rice because I know that there will be other spices that can bring a little bit heat in the jollof rice. The spice is what is curry. You can have curry into it because it brings aroma to the dish. It can be about a teaspoon or maybe up to a teaspoon. It's all to your taste. You can have a black pepper or habanero, but the habanero pepper is a very heated pepper. So as I said, back to what I said, I don't put pepper into my jollof rice. But if you like it spicy, you can put habanero. You can ask me how many habaneros. I don't think you put a whole habanero into it, it would be too spicy. It's all to your taste. Maybe half, it's to your taste. And then there are some other herbs that you can add when you are making this stew. Whilst it's simmering for your 15-20 minutes, you can put in bay leaves. It also helps. And all these things are very healthy too. It adds nutrients into the whole sauce or the stew. So bay leaves, thyme is one of them, curry powder, and then star anise. I like using star anise because it brings a flavorful into the stew. And then the star anise, you can also have another type of seeds called anise seeds. The anise seeds also bring flavor. There are so many spices that you can add to it. And all this dish is we call it one pot dish. Why do I call it one pot dish? Because when you make the sauce that I've given you those ingredients, then when you get the taste, the tomatoes has a little bit of acidity. So whilst it's cooking, let it cook for 15-20 minutes to get it a little bit thickened. You keep on stirring whilst you're doing it. Unfortunately, we don't have a kitchen for me to be doing for you to see. But then my explanation is that you keep on, whilst it's simmering on a medium heat, please don't put it too high. We put it too high, you might be distracted and the stew will burn. So put it in medium and keep stirring, okay? Keep on stirring so that it don't burn. And then when you do that, you can see that the tomatoes, the liquid in it and acidity is getting better, getting off, and the liquid too is drying up into it's getting, the sauce is taken up. So when you do that, that is where you can add the jollof rice. The interesting part of it is that, we call it one pot, is that before you put in your rice, you can have meat added to the dish. You can have, what do you call that one? Meat. You can have fish. It's up to your choice. You can have chicken added to your dish. There is this canned meat called corned beef or corned beef. That one too, the corned beef, you can put it in. It's all up to your taste. You can even use tuna flakes or the tuna chunk one into the jollof rice, because this is what you want it to make tasty. You can put shrimps in it. It's an addition option that you have to do. You can do. Or you can do it no meat. You can only put vegetables. And the vegetables can be your frozen vegetables. You put it in the stew. And when you do that, that is where you will rinse your rice. And I know that people will ask, why do you rinse the rice? We'll come to that. So you rinse your rice a couple of times, and then you put it into the stew where you have the sauce, which is the tomato base, and then your meat or your veggies, and then you put the rice in. This is where it becomes very interesting. Whilst the rice is in, you need a little bit of water, or it can be bouillon, or it could be stock. It can be a beef stock. You can make your own beef stock. You can all make your chicken stock, whatever that you have, or you can buy it from the grocery store and then you put it in. But usually, whether it's 4 cups of long grain rice, basmati rice, or the long grain Thai, or the jasmine, what you have to do is you will add 1 to 2 cups of water of that chicken or beef stock, or it can be ordinary water. You put it in and then you stir. Occasionally stir it because we don't want to get it burned. And that is where gradually you give yourself about 20-25 minutes, the dish will be done. And you see that it is 1 pot dish. Usually too, you can also make it without veggies, without meat or chicken, which is a jollof rice with nothing added. Yeah.
That was a really beautiful way to prepare the dish. I mean, we learned a lot how to do it. In case anyone needs the ingredients, they are in the chat, so you can look in the chat if you need them. Okay. So we have now learned how to prepare the jollof rice, but what are their health benefits? Okay. There are some health benefits in making this jollof rice, and then I will go through a couple of them for you to know. It provides, it's an energy food that provide energy. That is an essential role in keeping your energy level very high because it contains carbohydrate. It strengthens the immune system. Interesting enough, I didn't know much about this. I did a little bit of research and I found that I was so amazed that it says that it strengthens your immune system. I think strengthening your immune system is, it makes you, it's because it's loaded with vitamin C because of the tomatoes, because the jollof rice is loaded with tomatoes. I know that previously when people see, even now, somebody who is not familiar with the dish, anytime that you see the dish, first question, is it spicy? No. I would say, because of the tomatoes have taken the color of the rice. It can be that the rice is white, but you see that it's some that color, the tomato color, so you were wondering, but is the tomato the rice have picked up the tomato color because it's loaded, and tomatoes is loaded with vitamin C. So that's where it said the immune system maintains, it has the vitamin C, which can help to improve your body immunity. To the extent that I want to read a little bit here that I wrote. It says it contains one enzyme called lycopene. And lycopene, it is said to have many positive effects on the body, such as, they call it, I think, it prevents cancer. I was shocked to know that. And I said, oh my God, so I'm eating something right into my body. Yeah, and it's very essential mineral nutrients. So that is that. It strengthens the immune system, and it is also rich in manganese. Manganese. And it says it's high in manganese because it said just 100 grams of white rice contains 18% of the required daily intake of manganese. You can imagine, this is fantastic. When I read, I said, wow, that is good. And then it contains niacin, and then selenium. Selenium is found in white rice and then tomatoes. So said white rice and tomatoes are excellent source of selenium. And what does selenium does? Selenium, what it does is a trace mineral that can improve brain health, immune system function, and then fertility. I said, whoa. So people should hear. So rice, there is something like that helps even with fertility. That's perfect. And then there is another word I mentioned called niacin. Niacin is a vitamin B that helps your body to turn your food into energy. And it's very important in helping our cell, the growth of the cells, and then function of the cells, and also keeps your nervous system, your digestive system, and also your skin healthy. That is very loaded. So the benefits in the jollof rice, because of the rice and because of the tomatoes, it is loaded with some minerals that help the function of the body. Yeah. There are many health benefits that
Yeah.
it's from
Can you
eating
imagine?
jollof rice. So I think everyone should eat it
Yeah, everybody should start
once in
eating.
a while.
So yeah, once in a while. But I think I also learned that it's easy to digest because you'll be thinking, what is the? But you said it's easy to digest, unless that you have any, I think, digestive problems, that sort of. Otherwise, it's easy to digest. Yeah.
Yes. So I noticed I mentioned earlier that you wash your rice. Why is that?
Okay. Why do we wash rice? It reminds me of when we were in Norway. I remember very well my son, my younger one, classmates and their teachers invited me to come and cook some rice. And they saw me washing the rice. And so they asked, why do you wash the rice? I'm sure a lot of people probably might not be washing rice, but it is essential or it is good because you think that when you have the rice, after I'm cooking it, so the heat will kill the bacteria or whatever it is on it. But it is good to wash the rice. One thing I learned is that rinsing or washing the rice, it removes the excess starch on the rice. And then another thing to that, I know that you don't know the process of the rice. The processing of the rice can come in contact with some debris, so it is good to wash it. Or you can even come in contact with some chemicals or some bugs. Even the transporting the rice may be from the factory coming to the warehouse. For it to come into the grocery stores, might come to other things. So it is always, for me, my advice is that no, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a registered nurse, but it is good to wash the rice. And it also removes any dirt that had come on that you don't have your naked eyes to see. But rinsing or washing the rice, when you use your hand to do, you are putting friction on the rice. Whilst you put the friction, it removes any excess thing underneath the rice, which is very, very important.
Yeah, it is very important to wash your rice. I think everyone should wash their rice before they cook anything. Not even jollof of rice, but anything.
Yes.
So do you have any specific way to cook jollof rice, or like this is the way?
Okay. The way that I knew and I learned when I was young is putting on the stove. It can be your gas stove, or it can be your plated stove. It's on a stove, or it can be on a charcoal thing, or wherever the heating coming from. It's on in a pot on it. But it will be on, and then you cooked it. So it's well cooked. But I also do mine in another way. I will start the process getting to where the rice is picked up, the tomatoes and everything, and then with my water or my stock in it. And then the next step is that I put it in the oven. So you can bake it. If I bake and it turns out good, you can bake it too. So I put it, and then I put it at a certain temperature, and my temperature usually is 400, or it can be 350 degrees. And then when you do that, the rice, the heat coming from the oven will make the vapor rise and cook the food together. And usually you can see that it becomes crunchy. You have to be careful. If the food is dry and you see it's too hot, just sprinkle a little bit of water on it, even if it's on the stove, okay? And then in the oven too, you can do so. A little bit of water on it and turn it. You have to stir it occasionally so that it will be evenly cooked and then to be soft and tasty to be eaten. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that means you can put it on the stove to cook, or you can put it in the oven. But you cannot do the stew and put the rice in and put it in the oven right away. You just have to put it on the stove for a while just to get the rice to pick up the tomatoes. It will pick it in the oven too. But I feel that for me, I have learned that you have to put it on for maybe 5 minutes so that you can see that I started cooking, and then you put it in the oven. It will cook it very nice. Yeah.
so there are many ways in which you can cook this rice. You can
Yes.
choose any one she has mentioned here. So I see that you have chosen to use many different types of rice. Like, what are their health benefits if we use different rice for that?
Okay. When it comes to, thank you for the question. I talked about parboiled rice, and I talk about the jasmine rice, all long grains. All of them are white rice. So I've learned that we have also the usual white rice, which is the long grain. Then we also have brown rice. And then I even didn't know that there's a whole grain basmati rice. I got to learn that the basmati rice, there's a whole grain one too, which is that one, I would say that is perfect because whole grains, we always say that is good and it will be healthy. So there is a whole grain basmati rice, which has the lowest GI. GI is a glycemic index. This glycemic index, what it does is that it makes which digestion, which once digested, it releases its energy and it slowly keeping your blood sugar level more stable. That is why the GI, when it's lowest, is better. But there are ones that when it's high, it will make, especially the diabetes people might ask question, can I eat rice and all those things? We normally would say that these are carbohydrates, you shouldn't be eating too much of that. But this basmati rice, whole grain basmati rice, I think has the lower GI, will be good for a diabetic person. If you are on and you want to know, you can use that one too because it brings your sugar level very stable, which is good. That is what we're looking for. And then there is a brown rice. The brown rice has a high fiber content. A high fiber content is good for the body. I think the lowest of it is, I would say, will be the white rice, which is it's very, I think, bland, and then it is low in fiber. And usually we like to eat something that is the fibers are high because of digestions and all those things. So these are the three rices that I know and I can talk about. But I know there's a rice called parboiled rice. I don't know much about it, but I also heard that is also healthy. And so it is healthy. You love it, you use it. It's a matter of getting your ingredients, the sauce or the stew, well done, and you put your rice in. And I know that parboiled rice will come out like singles, which is fine. The only thing is that when you're cooking this dish, honestly, keep eye on it. Don't put too much water in it. Too much water in it will make the rice soggy, okay? Or will be like watery, which is not. But it is nice to eat when you have it soft, and then I love it when they are singles. But I don't like rice that it's like doing sushi. We're not doing sushi. Sushi, you can be getting it sticky. So we don't want sticky. We want it to be maybe singles. That's me. But some people too, like they put water in and you see that. And the type of rice they use can make the rice stick like you take it, it's like it's wet and all those things. I like it dry. Yeah.
So she mentioned many types of rice, such as brown rice, white rice, basmati rice. Just choose whichever you want to prefer.
Yeah.
So I see that you happen to know a lot about health benefits. Is there like something you do in your daily life?
In my daily life, my own self, right now?
Yes.
Right now, okay. Honestly, I'm a registered nurse. I retired just last year. So I've been home for, I would say I'm getting to 2 years now. I've been home 2 years. And interesting enough, I thought I could go back and do some casual shift. But I had a surgery done 3 years ago on my back because of the same work. So unfortunately, they nipped my nerve, so it affected my leg, my right leg. So when you see me, I walk with a little bit of, no difficulty, but I have some weakness in my right leg, and I'm praying that I get better. But I've seen that I really need to rest because if I retired, I should enjoy my retirement. So right now I'm home. All what I do is that I love cooking, and I'm cooking for the family, and also use my time to come and volunteer here at Fruitful Communities. I come on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I also have church activities that I'm involved in it. And I also do Bible studies, which I am always on the Bible, reading the Word of God and learning, and then writing down notes, and then keeping myself busy. That's what I'm doing. And I'm thinking my next hobby is try to learn the keyboard. I don't know. That's something I want to do.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I mean, you did enjoy your career.
Yeah.
So who taught you to make this dish?
This dish? Okay. I would say my mom taught me. And at the same time, in school, we do home science. So we were learning how to make our own, to learn how to make some of our traditional dishes in school. I remember when I was in the elementary school, I ended up in a competition where I had to go and compete with other schools to cook. And the first thing I did wasn't the jollof rice. It was rice and stew. It's easy making that one. But I learned the jollof rice, as I said, in the high school. So I kept on doing. The more I do, I get myself perfected till I got to this age that I can see that I can close my eyes and make jollof rice. I don't know.
That's good. I see we are getting some questions from the chat. I would like to read it to you.
Sure.
This dish looks like a paella, like a Spanish dish. And the other one is, we have a question. For which season is it best to eat?
What's it?
Which season is it best to eat?
Oh, jollof rice can be eaten at any time, but I know that mostly jollof rice is a delicious and it's a famous dish and it's loved by many, by most all. And whoever that comes in contact with the jollof rice, if it's done and done well, you will enjoy the dish. And so it is healthy. And you heard me talking about the health benefits in the jollof rice because of the loaded vitamin C from the tomatoes. But it's you can give it. It is good, it is delicious, so you will really enjoy. There is a reason to enjoy the jollof rice. When it's well done and then tasty, you will enjoy it. And as I said, the occasions can be anytime you can make jollof rice to eat, but I can see, I'm talking from my background as a Ghanaian, that you can see mostly the dish can appear, the reception for weddings, you can see it with birthday parties. You can be a family reunion. You can have the jollof rice. Jollof rice can be eaten at any time that you are having friends coming to your place. It's easy making a jollof rice and then serve. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I think it's time that we present with the dish. It's been long, right? So can someone present with me with the dish? I think this dish has many health benefits, as our facilitator Harriet has told us. So I really encourage everyone to eat this dish. And now we are presenting you with the dish. We have it.
Sure, see? Don't you see the color nice?
Yeah.
And then it smells delicious too. I'm not saying because I cook this, so I'm trying to say that it's good. But I know naturally the jollof is a very nice dish. It's very, it's so colorful. If I had put in vegetables, you will see that it's more colorful, because if I put the frozen vegetables in it to cook, it will contain the peas, carrots, chopped carrots, and then you can see corn. These three things, or you can see just the carrots and then the peas. You see it nicely, colorfully here. Now, this one, what I did was I didn't add the veggies. All what I added was the meat. There is meat mixed in it. So as I said, you can also cook it without nothing, but you can have your chicken separately done and you can slice it and put it. Or even some people do fry it and then put it on the side of the rice. I don't know whether you're going to ask me what would you add to it when you are eating. Are you going to ask me that?
Yeah, sure, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so this dish, what you can do is serve it on a plate, warm and nice. What you can add to it is that you can add salad. And the salad could be, you can add a garden salad, but I would rather maybe advise you that it's not necessary adding this type of salad, the ones with the croutons and what did they call that one? The one with the cheese and all those things in it. You don't need that type. Simple garden salad is fine. You can have your lettuce or your head lettuce, And you cut them into, as you know how to do, and add your cucumbers and then tomatoes and whatever that you add to it. Or you can even have steamed vegetables. Your steamed vegetables, very crunchy one, add it to the rice, or your chicken on the side or meat on the side, add it to it, makes the dish very delicious and make it very healthy. And that's what I can add to it. Yeah.
Yes, I happen to notice that dish has a very beautiful color. Can you tell us what's the reason?
Okay, so what makes the color this is the tomatoes, because apart from the tomatoes, I think when I was giving the ingredients, I think in the list I've written tomato paste. Yes, I didn't mention was, or I didn't bring the tomato paste for you to see, but then you add the tomato paste into the tomatoes grinded, plus even the paprika, it will give you a bright color like this. So when you put the rice in, it picks that color of you see, when you look into this, it's you see, that's how it's going to be. When you put the tomatoes, when you grind the tomatoes, you add the roasted red paprika to it, and then you put it on the fire and you simmer. It becomes a little bit thick, and this is how the color will be. You can imagine it's almost like this, you see. So the rice goes in, the rice white color loses it, or even if the brown one, it will lose. But you see that I think the color of the tomatoes has taken this, but there is no pepper in it, because some people think that when you see this color means that there's a lot of pepper. There's no pepper. The only thing, if you eat and you feel a kick of a spice, might come from the curry. Yeah.
So now you know what the beautiful color is from. So thank you, Harriet. This dish has been really good. This has many health benefits, as she has mentioned. So I encourage everyone to eat this like once in a while for sure. And it's perfect. As you can see, we have represented with the dish.
Yeah.
So thank you, Harriet, for coming today and facilitating our cooking show. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I thank you, the participants, for staying with us, and thank you for commenting in the chat as well. So we will see you tomorrow with the last workshop of this year, which is Safety for Seniors at 11 a.m. at Fruitful Communities. If you have any questions, you can just email us at the social programs, fruitfulcommunities@gmail.com. Thank you.
And I have to say that thank you very much for having me over to be able to express myself in the food that I enjoy making, and it's a food that is delicious and healthy. And I say that whoever is online who is watching or listening, I know that learning to cook a dish that might be this your first time might be challenging, but don't be discouraged. Keep on trying and trying. Obviously, one of the days it will hit, and you'll be able to cook, and even more experience in cooking it better than me. But I wish whoever that will try all the best and enjoy making a jollof rice. Thank you.
Thank you, Harriet. Thank you very much.